Anthony Skinner.
Ian Cron, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I actually showered and I'm drinking the breakfast of champions.
Rocking your Diet Coke again.
Yes, I am. You are in the typology studio. I can see that behind you.
Yes.
And I can tell that if I could see you from the waist down, you're probably in your jammies, aren't you?
You know, I'm in some major comfy wear here.
No, we call those softies here in my house.
And you're rocking a skull cap that's like no other there. Can you lean in and show us what that says?
I certainly can. Take a look. It says
therapy makes you hotter. I love that.
I saw a guy wearing this in a restaurant, and I immediately, my eyes bugged out. And I went, "Where did you get that at?" And he told me, and I went home. I ordered like 5 in different colors, you know. And then I realized, like, what do people think when they read it on me? I have no idea, but whatever.
So today, who are we talking about?
Yeah, man. So we're in this series of posts about how we can help each type thrive and flourish and self-actualize, become the best expression of themselves during this really difficult season, right?
Yeah.
And so today we're going to talk about 5s, the investigators.
The investigators. So how do you think the investigators are doing right now?
Well, I suspect by now most investigators know more about the coronavirus than the Surgeon General and the CDC combined. Combined.
Yeah, right. You know, right? That's the case, right?
And I'm pretty sure that, you know, instructions like practice social distancing and sequester yourself in your home and stay informed, you know, those kinds of phrases are music to the ears of a 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we know the 5s are the poster childs for cool under pressure. Right. They have a lot to offer us these days. What are some things that they do have to offer us? Some of their strengths, you know, maybe.
Well, actually, you just mentioned one, and I think it's really great. One of my best friends is a guy named Hillary, and he's a hardcore 5. And when I first met him, I asked him what he used to do. He's a therapist now and a theologian. I said, "What did you do in your younger years?" He says, "I was a paramedic working in the South Bronx." Okay.
Wow.
So he was constantly picking up people with, you know, gunshot wounds and stabbing wounds and, you know, just in horrible circumstances. And he's perfect for that gig because
the National Weather Service has issued a flood advisory.
There you go. We can keep going.
Anyhow, coronavirus, flood advisories, tornadoes.
We need some 5s. Where are the 5s?
God. It's the 4th horseman. But it's true, man. Like 5s, they just are so cool and objective under pressure. And we need those kinds of people right now, especially because when you read the news, everybody else is hysterical. Like everybody else. And I'm not saying there isn't reason to be concerned or worried. Sure, I'm just saying we need analytical, objective, transparent, honest people. And that's what 5s can be. Like, have you been watching this guy, Dr. Anthony Fauci? You know, the guy that's, right, he's sort of in charge of this whole thing, and he's on the press conferences with the president. When that guy gets to the mic, and I don't know, I'm speculating he's a 5. When he gets to the mic, I totally just go,
yeah.
Because he's objective, he's truthful, he's analytical, he's doing the science, and that's the gift that 5s can bring for us. Also, you know, 5s, man, we need their wry, slightly cynical sense of humor right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They got the best sense of humor. Amazing.
Fantastic humans.
So what are some tips for 5s during this this time that we find ourselves in? 2 or 3 tips?
Well, 2 or 3 tips. First one, as you've heard me say before, they need to limit the amount of time they're trawling on the internet, okay? People will not think you're inept if you don't know the answer to the question about the origin and possible future treatments of COVID-19. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, 5s tend to be afraid that if they get someone asks them something, or if they just can't come up with an answer to a question, and they'll end up looking inadequate, which is, of course, they're something they suspect that they really are. You know?
Right.
So that's the first one I'd have.
Okay. Another one?
Sure. You are not a brain on a stick. That's number 2, right? So more than any other type, if you're a 5, you need to get out of your head and back into your body. And so now would be a great time for you to learn and practice yoga.
Oh,
Now,
love that. It's a great idea.
right? So maybe a 5 is thinking, but I don't know the first thing about yoga. And that's fine, because now I'm giving you a new subject to research and master.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's great.
So I want to tell these folks about 5s about a beginner's class they can check out on YouTube. There's a woman named Adrienne. She's a yoga teacher. She's a teacher I respect and I watch. If you just go online and check her out, I think she's spelled Adrienne. Okay.
Yep, she just came up for me. I just Googled her. Really simple to find.
Yeah, man, you can just she's got a bunch of beginner classes, and some of them are just 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's just begin slow and work your way up. But it's so important for 5s to get out of their head and into their hearts, because they need to become integrated, head, heart, and body. You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah.
And when they do that, they just are better able to love the people around them. And that's what this is all about. This whole conversation, all these posts that we're talking about right now, isn't just for our sake, our experience of life. It's so we can help and love other people, man.
I love that. That's such a good perspective. How about a third tip?
All right. Some Enneagram 5s I know are kind of naturally physically affectionate, but most tell me that they do have to work on tactile expressions of love, right? So here's what I want 5s to do. Remember, we're all sequestered in the same house, right? So hug and tell your children, if you have some, just hug them and tell them you love them 3 or 4 times a day.
That's great.
Sneak up on your partner from behind and give them a kiss, and tell them that you love them out of the blue, right? FaceTime someone that you really care about and say, hey, I'm just checking in to catch up and see how you're doing, right? So these tactile, or even over FaceTime, these reaching out efforts, right, to connect with other people, is really important right now. People need us to make the extra effort to go beyond the limitations of our personalities and embody new habits so we can be our best.
That's strong.
Yeah, man. Have you ever read Henry Nouwen?
Oh, love Henry Nouwen.
Henry Nouwen, for those of you who don't know him, he's a great Catholic writer, really one of the best of the 20th century. He has a quote that's just for 5s. When I read it, I almost fell down. He says this: what makes us human is not our mind, but our heart. Not our ability to think, but our ability to love.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah, man, that's
So
good. That's good for all of us, but it's particularly good for 5s. Right?
It's a good quote to go out on, too.
It is. I can't wait, man, because next up is 6s.
6s.
The loyalists. So
Yes.
everybody watch out for our next post on 6s and how they can become their very best during this coronavirus madness. We love you. We're grateful for you. And we're going to get through this together. Love you all.
See ya.